I'd like to first of all thank everybody who has sent me so many messages regarding my videos on Poland. It's actually been quite overwhelming, the amount of people that have taken the time to send me a message, and in most cases very, very supportive of what I've had to say about Poland so far. And yes, correct me on some of my pronunciations on some of the words, but mainly to say, well done. It's making us feel good about our country, etc. And it's been warm. It's been warm comments made sent to me, and I'm very thankful. So I'd like to thank everybody for their kind words of support in terms of what I've so far put out there on Poland. Some of you may not be aware of the fact that I've got 3 videos out on Poland so far, and if you go onto my channel and go onto my What About Poland site, you'll see those videos. You basically go onto the link, which I'll put onto the screen now, and you can then find the other videos that I'm talking about, which I'm talking about Poland. Yeah. Now, there were a few people as well who had rather derogatory, negative things to say. Not too many, but a few. I think they're what they tend to call the trolls that come onto YouTube and try and, upset people in some form. They certainly don't upset me, but what I wouldn't want them to do is upset anybody else either. So I tend to remove some of them. I don't respond to them. But I do, I just want to make the point that those sort of things, words like that, don't concern me really at all. I accept the fact there are people out there who can't say things of a pleasant nature at all. So anyway, we'll just get on with that. I want to get off the subject of Poland for this particular video and talk a little bit about the UK and the changes that seem to be establishing themselves with regards to Brexit and what's going to happen, and how are people generally feeling about Brexit and the UK, and how are people feeling in the country, Polish people, but other nationalities as well, living in the UK at the moment, and how do they feel about their futures, and likewise British people living in other parts of Europe. This is, it's become a long, divided, dramatic debate, which is quite honestly been handled very badly by politicians here in the UK, as well as politicians in the EU, and I think it hasn't really helped. It's become very divisive on all those fronts. But what do I think? How do I think? Not what do I think? How do I think it's going to come to an end? Well, quite honestly, I think there is a little bit of a storm before the process reaches conclusion. But I think at the end of the day, people who live in the UK that are from other parts of Europe have got absolutely nothing to worry about at all. They will be allowed, they will remain in the UK if that's where they want to continue with their lives, and and they can also go back if they wish to as well. Likewise, new people coming in from the EU or from Europe will better come here as well. That's my view. I don't think it's going to change. I think there are too many solid foundations between people who are UK citizens and people who live in Europe, that they are family orientated between each other already. People have married into families in other parts of Europe, and likewise here, and it's just it is like this. So there's nothing can change that. So I think barriers and walls going up is not the route it will go. It will become a balanced approach to how we live in Europe with our European neighbours, regardless of whether we remain. Well, we are leaving the EU now anyway, as far as the Brexiteers go. But regardless of whether our trading arrangements change slightly or not, with regards to our relationships with people, it won't change at all. It shouldn't change at all. Why should it? There's no reason for it to change. This is some structural process that's being put in place to make people feel happy about sovereignty, possibly. But to me, it's, people have deeper roots than that, and therefore people who have established their homes here will continue to have their homes here. People who have established their homes in other parts of Europe will do the same. And likewise, if people are going to develop relationships with people in other parts of the country, or well, other parts of the world for that matter, it'll happen. It'll happen. So there's there's a storm in a teacup here with regards to how this is developing. I know I've been listening to it today with regards to how our members of Parliament are going to vote tonight with regards to Theresa May's deal that's on the table. Well, the word is that the deal is not going to go through anyway, this particular deal, and it's going to put us into a greater crisis. I think that's, to me, is over dramatic. I personally think at the end of the day, politicians step to one side and people will make things right in the process of long-term relations between all of us. So yeah, that was really what I was going to say, because I do understand there are people with anxiety and concerned, particularly people who live here. I'm talking now about Polish people in particular, because obviously I've got a warm regard for Poland and its people over there and here. And I think there are people here that might be concerned about what's going to happen in the UK, what's going to happen after March. Are we still going to be able to live here? Are we still going to be able to work here? Are we still going to be able to come and go as we want to here? Yes, my view, yes, that won't change. I think it's being over dramatized, and the EU are not helping. They are also over dramatic in how they put this across as well. Absolutely, there will be nothing to concern yourselves with as far as that goes, and it will go through the storm. The storm in the teacup will go, and it will continue. I see linking things through with trade might be slightly different as time goes on. New systems may have to be brought into place to deal with certain things, but they'll be dealt with, and they'll happen. And I think that will be fine. I see, talking to the airlines here locally, there are more airlines looking for flight links between Polish cities and UK cities. I think I mentioned Doncaster Airport here local to me. There's something like 6 or 7 Polish cities that are now being linked up through our Doncaster Leeds Airport. And I think there's going to be more of that. We're looking for Prestwick Airport taking on some more Polish flights as well. That will all depend on whether Scotland and its transport minister can see sense in opening up opportunities for more, for more network of services out of Prestwick Airport. But throughout the country, there are lots and lots of opportunities growing with supporting people coming in and out of the country on in terms of their travel arrangements. So I see everything going well. Okay, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.